I'm gonna be real, I don't have any notes written out for this game. That's because earlier today I had myself my team dinner with my hockey team. It was the end of the season celebration, meeting up and talking about stuff, saying our goodbyes, etc., etc. And when I got back into my car, started the drive home from a local Hong Kong-style fusion restaurant, it was a very nice restaurant, I turned on my Sportsnet 650 radio and listen to what Batch and Corey Hirsch had to say. It was 3-0 at the start of the second period. I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, wow, it's a 3-0 game. I checked the notifications beforehand. Tkachuk scored. You had... who the heck else scored? Noah Hannafin scored, and yada yada yada. It's the same guys. You know who they are in Calgary, right? And I was kind of thinking, okay, I'll probably catch the second period and the third. The second has just started right now, so I can get this coverage on my radio. And the Vancouver Canucks were apparently pretty good. They had zone time, they had some offensive opportunities to start out the second, but all that momentum went away when, just a few minutes after I got onto the road, it's Elias Lindholm who comes in and he shoots and he scores. They said on the broadcast it was the third out of 4 goals to go in low blocker on Thatcher Demko. Eventually it became 5-0, and then the Canucks scored 2 towards the end of the third period as well, but Jannik Hansen said it best on Sportsnet 650. One game gets to 4-0, 5-0, it's already done. You can score goals after that. You can make it 6. You can make it 7-0. The other team can even come back. They can make it 5-2, like the Vancouver Canucks did. But in a game like this, where it's 4-0, 5-0, Thatcher Demko gets pulled, Jaro Halak plays the third, there's nothing to learn from this game if you're a fan trying to look for things to talk about in a YouTube video. That's what I am. I was kind of thinking, do I want to make a video analyzing the goals, going over each play and describing them in detail? I kind of figured no. Because as a fan of this team, as somebody who watches a video of somebody who makes reaction content to these types of hockey games, that's kind of the last thing I care about. You don't click on these videos because you want me to break down Vancouver Canucks defensive woes. You click on these videos because you want me to give my thoughts on them. And even if you don't click these videos because of that, I do think there is some part of the collective fan base that watches these videos because of the conversations that arise from them. And so, for the Vancouver Canucks to lose to the Calgary Flames here tonight, 5-2 as they did at home, it is kind of heartbreaking, is it not? This team went out there and had 40-plus shots against. They had 5 goals against, and it was one of those showcases where even though I turned on my TV after getting home, it was the middle of the second, and I watched the third here as well, even though the Canucks had some chances, they had some shots, they just got completely outplayed. And according to everybody who had seen the first period that I talked to as well, that appears to be the case. And so now, this was game 1 out of 2 on the weekend. They have the Buffalo Sabres tomorrow. And when it comes to the out-of-town scoreboard, hey, you're gonna love this if you're a team playoffs for the Vancouver Canucks right now. Seattle, they're up 4-2 against Detroit. They're probably gonna win that game. Okay, no, Seattle's not really in the race. Let's move on. Dallas lost in regulation to the Islanders, so that kind of sucks. But Edmonton, 6-3 win over New Jersey. Vegas, 5-1 win over the Kings. Okay, the Kings are kind of in the race, so it's good that that win was in regulation, but still, Vegas is over there. They got themselves 2 points. You have the Nashville Predators, who beat the Maple Leafs 6-3 today as well. So this was another one of those nights where the out-of-town scoreboard really wasn't in favor for the Vancouver Canucks. And what was a 9% chance of making the playoffs earlier today, because when we made the This Is It video, that was at 12 at noon. So completely different odds, right? Now those odds have been shot down. They're even more dwindled and reduced. Also, going over the This Is It video that we made earlier today, I kind of wanted to react to some of the reactions to that, because I scrolled through the comments, I read the comments every once in a while, and I try to, give my thought as to what it is people are bringing up, because we've got a lot of people who watch these videos. I'm very appreciative of that. And because of that, we have a lot of differing opinions. I saw a lot of people in the comments of the previous video saying things like, oh, I agree with Thomas Strands and his takes on Donnie and Dolly from yesterday, where he said that 2 games is not enough to go out there and dictate the entire path, the entire direction that a hockey team, a $1 billion organization, goes out there and does on a Monday during the trade deadline. 2 games are not enough. Whether they win 2 games against Calgary and Buffalo or they lose 2 games against Calgary and Buffalo, the team still isn't good enough and they still should sell. That was the entire idea that Brandt brought up on the Donnie and Dolly show, and I saw a lot of comments going out there and agreeing with that. I saw some comments saying, you know, Lego, I hate how you're always pushing forward with this kind of discourse. I don't like that you discredit the idea that they could come back and that it is possible. You know, it's not mathematically likely, but still, 9% chance is better than 0. Fair. I totally understand where you're coming from. Heck, I even saw some other people in the comments of the previous video saying, you know what, man? They're close. They're X amount of points out of a playoff spot, and they're right there. What the Canucks need to do at the deadline is buy. And I'll go out there and say it right here, man. I'm sorry, but I don't think the Canucks are going to buy. We already heard Rutherford and Alvin say that the team lacks prospects, picks, etc., etc., and so the buy route is probably not one you're going to see, or at least it's not likely in the slightest, in my opinion. Funny enough, even on Twitter, I was talking my smack as I usually do on Twitter anytime something happens in the Canucks games, and I just kept on getting replies from people. Trade Besser, trade Besser. I know he scored today, but you saw some of the other chances that he also whiffed on. After Besser scored the rebound tap-in goal, I got a reply from another guy saying, yeah, no, anybody can score a rebound. Trade Besser. And so, with everything coming down to the wire, with all the other trades going down in the NHL, I really started to think, and I started to place my shoes into the mind. Okay, no, that doesn't make any sense. Place my shoes into the mind. Place myself into the places of NHL GMs and think about, okay, look at what Claude Giroux got. I get it. It's a fleece of a trade because Claude Giroux probably could have gone for a bit more, but Claude Giroux in a package of bottom-tier depth forwards and a 5th got the Philadelphia Flyers Owen Tippett, a 1st, and another pick. Sure, not great because you had to add on all the other stuff, and you could have debated you could have gotten more for Giroux. But some of these playoff rentals, dude, Brandon Hagel went for 2 firsts. You have yourselves Hampus Lindholm that had a whole bunch of stuff get sent over to Anaheim. You had Josh Manson get sent away for Drew Hellison and a pick. Like, these prices are kind of extraordinary. And when I think about what the Vancouver Canucks could do, we know how Rutherford, Alvin, Coronato, Castonguay, these people want to go out there and they want to free up money. If it's Tyler Myers, if it's a Tucker Poolman, if it's a Tanner Pearson, if it's money down the line, Brock Besser and his $7.5 million qualifying offer. If it's JT Miller and the amount of money he's going to be making after 2022-2023. I wonder what the Canucks could go out there and get. Now, I have Horvat in the title, or not in the title, in the thumbnail of this video. I thought it was a funny picture. That's kind of why I do half the things I do here on this YouTube channel. Some people are also saying, oh, Lego needs to mature in the way that he makes his content, and I get the perspective that I go out there and I make videos that are kind of colloquial, and they're not really the most mature, but at the same time, that's kind of the point. I don't really want to go out there and make myself seem the most professional, like top of the line, grade A. Okay, look at this, Lego Rocks 99. This guy is a top tier #1 analyst. You don't want to mess with this guy because this guy, Lego Rocks 99, he knows what he's talking about. I'm just kind of a hockey fan. I'm just kind of a dude. I'm just a dude who goes out there and watches these games and gives my thoughts on a microphone. And that game against the Calgary Flames, while they had their chances and they had some goals, bottom 6 getting goals, there's Tyler Mott with an assist, whatever it is, boosting his trade value right there, eh? I watch these games, and I look at the other teams. You know, whenever the Colorado Avalanche highlights come on, like, even my parents noticed this the other day when the Makar goals and everything were going in. They were like, wow, look at how good that team is. Look at how good their opponents are. Look at how good the Florida Panthers are. Look at how good the Tampa Bay Lightning are. Look at how good these other teams are. Do you really think the Vancouver Canucks are in a position to even think about contending with these guys? Because right now, the way they have their system laid out, they shouldn't be. The way they have their system laid out next year, probably shouldn't be. You can't be doing that with Myers, Tucker Pullman, Hamonic as your top 3 right side defense. And so, when you think about what's best for the team long term, I do think that the sell route is something they have to go out there and explore deeply. Whether or not it's just Tyler Mott or Luke Shen or Halak or whatever, what's the price for a Besser? What's the price for a Garland? I'm thinking about what's the price for a Miller. And even if they win against the Buffalo Sabres tomorrow 10-0, Demko comes in, gets a 10-0 shutout, I still do think that the status quo of this team remains unchanged. So, let me know in the comments your thoughts about the Canucks and the Flames. I didn't even talk about the game. Really, I didn't watch most of this game. I was just kind of having it on in the background, kind of thinking to myself, yeah, it's already over, is it not? But I hope you enjoyed this video either way. Social Trolls to 99. And bye.